So yeah, that's what's up. Check this out. Mary freaking Poppins. I don't know if I'm allowed to show that. Currently the audience is 0, so of course that bridge when we come to it. So, I've been cast as Mr. George Banks in this production, and that is a hefty responsibility. It's such an iconic show, you know, and it's centered around this guy, George Banks' journey back to his family. I watched Saving Mr. Banks last night. It's with Tom Hanks, Emma Thompson, Colin Farrell, Rachel Griffith. Oh man, it was so freaking good. Paul Giamatti, B.J. Novak's, Schwartz. What was the other guy? I have to look his name up. And just great cast. It's such a great story. And the story of where Mr. Banks came from as the author of the Mary Poppins books. She lost her father at a young age. And, he was her hero. And the source of her imagination, it seemed like he was always taking her on imaginary adventures. So, according to the movie, it's the story of this movie about Walt Disney trying to bring Mary Poppins to the screen for 20 years because Walt Disney had overheard his daughters reading the books and just squealing with delight, and promised them that he would make a movie or something. I mean, it's a pretty arrogant promise, but that's Walt Disney didn't fuck around. And so it was based on real life events that when they did consult with the author, they would tape record all the interviews, well, all the script notes when they were sitting down going over the scripts and the script approvals. It was tape recorded, and by the sounds of things, Emma Thompson did a pretty good job. Emma Thompson did more than a pretty good job. Emma Thompson, just such a divine being. So yeah, upstairs neighbors. So I live in this delightful basement, lower half of the house. Nice high ceilings, nice exposed brick. Got my vintage ironing board back here, just to show off that I have one. Never use it, obviously. It doesn't have a cover. Everything would come out looking like a... My clothes look like they've been through a waffle iron. So this is where the magic's going to happen. But I was talking about Disney, and so he really, really, really wanted to bring Mary Poppins to the screen, and it is truly a classic. It's a wonder. It's a delight. It brings so much joy, and it means something. When your storybook heroes come to life on the big screen, and I'm sure that meant so much to so many people. So I respect that. It's a lovely bit. Lovely scene with Tom Hanks and Emma Thompson. where Tom Hanks is explaining that, look, I get it. Mary Poppins doesn't come to save the children. She comes to save the father. And meanwhile, it's interspersing these flashbacks to her father, dying from alcoholism and tuberculosis right before her eyes. Spoilers. But before that, he was down on his luck. He was going through a hard time. And seeing a man fall like that in front of his children, in front of his family. I felt that. So this is a story about one man's salvation, in a way, because he had been terrorized as a child. No ifs, ands, or buts. In the late 1800s, if you were under the care of a nanny, they had, full rights to beat the shit out of you if they saw fit. So this guy was terrorized by his nanny, and the outcome being that he took her teachings in terms of ways of efficiency. So he's very, very, very structured, and structure gives you calm, gives you peace, gives you love, gives you the only thing you've ever even experienced like love. You didn't get to see his parents. You can see his parents like once a week. Where is the love? So this guy finds his way back into love, which is just fucking magical. You know how many sort of fucked up dudes there are out there? Just need a hug. No, that's not it. It's not just need a hug. It's not just need a hug. No, that's not right at all. There are some people out there with just real struggles. So there's this one poor, repressed dude. So he's going to come along to Mary Poppins. He's going to see this guy come back from the brink. And listen to an afternoon of just the most joyful songs. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Are you kidding me? Chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. Feed the birds. Come on. Right? Fuck. What a delightful show. What a glorious celebration of joy. So yeah, I can't fuck it up. Gotta get this right. So what am I gonna do? I got my script. I've got rehearsal tomorrow. Here's my to-do list. Alright. I'm trying this binder method for a to-do list because when I use a stationary book, You know what I mean? Paper book. I always find it awkward when you have to insert pages. With the binder, you don't have to. All right, where were we? So we'll be battling ADHD along the way. Voice training. Every fucking day. Let's not fuck around here. Let's not try to cram this. Let's get conditioned. It's time for the montage. Dun, 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 dun. Ma 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 ma. Problem is, I'm starting off a little behind the 8 ball. I've got a wicked chesty thing at the moment. I hope it's not the black long paw. Hopefully it's just something temporary. So yeah, casting was just announced today for this thing. And so it's go time. I've got my script, like I said. I don't have the actual music yet. Should be getting that in the next couple of days. But there's plenty of tracks. And I can get the gist of it. Especially, the beauty of this is that it's not for another 3 months, basically. We go up first 2 weekends of May 3rd. So where are we? February, March, April, 3 months. 3 months. So there's enough time. It's plenty of time to do it right, because this is a big room. And there's a lot of people putting a lot of time and effort and energy into this. And it is a beloved show. So I want to make sure I do it right. That's it's a nice little bit of joy to bring into the world. I think that'd be worthwhile endeavor. So, what am I up to? I find the phone very distracting. I don't think I'm alone in that regard. I'm also finding my neighbors very distracting. This guy's battling with his daughter. So, voice training every day. Script work, yes. This is not just about the songs. This is about the story. It's about the acting. There's a lot of acting in this, actually. A lot of acting. Research. Well, I did watch Saving Mr. Banks. I did listen to the Sherman Brothers say, yeah, I actually watching Saving Mr. Banks just really moved me. So it inspired me to want to do a good job. So I want to do a good job. So yes, when is my next rehearsal? I'm rehearsing tomorrow. And it is to my groups. Alright, Tuesday. I call for 6:30. Next rehearsal is potentially Thursday. We're going to do Act 1. The prologue. Scenes 1 and 2. Okay. So by tomorrow evening, 23 hours time, let's see where we're at. Let's see what that looks like. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Oh, I get to highlight. Don't you just love highlighting shit? I love highlighting shit. Mary Poppins, Libretto. Mary Poppins, the Broadway musical. A musical based on the stories of P.L. Travers, Mrs. Travers, and the Walt Disney film. Original music and lyrics by Richard M. Sherman, Robert B. Sherman. Book by Julian Fellows. New songs and additional music and lyrics by George Stiles and Anthony Drew. Co-created by Cameron McIntosh. I've heard that name before. I'm looking at that as well. Who is Cameron McIntosh? And just picture if there was an audience here saying, he doesn't know who Cameron McIntosh is. That guy's about to have his mind blown. Or, just heap scorn, as is the internet way. You don't know something, your ignorance is punishable by torment. Let's not worry about character lists. Let's go right into it. Act 1. Scene 1, Cherry Tree Lane. Rooftop street parlor. London, 1910. It's autumn. A dark sky, scudding clouds. A landscape of early 20th century rooftops is spread out before us. Bert, a chimney sweep, enters and addresses the audience. Wind's in the east, there's a mist coming in, like something is brewing and about to begin. Can't put my finger on what lies in store, but I feel what's to happen or happened before. George Banks appears out of the forest of chimneys, as does his wife Winifred and their 2 children, Jane and Michael. The Banks. Jane and Michael, the kids, of course. Winifred and George Banks, Mr. Banks. All of them, in their different ways, are disconnected and alone. Disconnected and alone. A father, a mother, a daughter, a son. The threads of their lives are all raveling undone. Something is needed to twist them as tight as a string you might use when you're flying a kite. Chim chimney, chim chim, chiree chim charo. Michael and Jane rush around with a makeshift kite, pursued by their nanny, Katie Nana. Michael. Hurry up, Jane. Let's run. Katie Nana. Come back here, you little blighters. You've got to do your lessons. She sounds like a Monty Python character. Michael. I can't do my lessons if I'm flying a kite. Jane. And you can't make us. You're only our nanny. The children stamp on Katie Nana's foot and succeed in losing her. Their freedom is short-lived as they run straight into the local policeman. Policeman. Oi! Not you 2 again. Come along home. Oi! Come here. The policeman takes the children away as Bert stops in front of number 17, Cherry Tree Lane. Miss Lark is coming the other way with Willoughby, her lapdog. Miss Lark. Good morning, Bert. Bert. Morning, Miss Lark. And how's little Willoughby today? Miss Lark. Oh, very well, thank you, Bert. Snaps at Bert. Willoughby. Willoughby! Admiral Boom enters carrying some binoculars. Admiral Boom. By Jove! Isn't that the beauteous Miss Lark I spy on the horizon? Miss Lark. Oh, Admiral. Willoughby! Willoughby! Miss Lark giggles quittishly and continues on her way. Admiral Boom crosses to where Bert has been watching. Bert. Morning, Admiral. How's it looking? Admiral Boom. Dark clouds gathering at number 17. Storm warnings overdue. Of all London's byways where I doff my cap, this one's the hardest to find on a map. Don't know the song on this one. Cherry Tree Lane, as sweet as a song, but the nannies who come here, they don't stay for long. Chim chimney, chim chim, cherry chim charo. Scene 2. Cherry Tree Lane. Wait, I need a drink. I need refreshments. All right, be right back. I'm going to show you the greatest drink in history. Make a little room here, shall we? For the blueberries. I like blueberries. It's kind of like dessert and mocktail all at the same time. I guess it doesn't have to remain a mocktail. You can probably adding some gin to this bad boy. Shut up. Oh, I'm gonna get some gin. I should have got plastic off. We're working on addictions. So, acting class. bristled off the edge there. Ah, just like, that's very erotic. It's talented. Alright, so get a load of that. That is breakfast, snacks, and dinner champions. Alright. Right. These need a little help. Make sure it's all mixed in. Sometimes makes a really nice little slushy. Bottoms up. Oh shit. I found highlighters and actually need my glasses because I'm old. Well, playing Mr. George Banks for crying out loud. He's no spring chicken. No. I won't be allowed. George Banks. Disconnected and alone. Oof. Threads of their lives raveling undone. Oh, pain. Okay, so we appear over the forest of chimneys. Doesn't say where we go though. We're probably just standing there in the middle of the stage. I think I make an entrance on the next scene, so probably have to exit this stage at some point. Just not clear where. I'm sure we'll cover that in rehearsal. Cherry Tree Lane, Part 1. Bert snaps his fingers, and the interior of the house bursts into life. It's chaos. Katie Nana storms towards the door with her packed bags. Katie Nana! Katie Nana! Those little beasts have run away from me for the last time, said Katie Nana. Mrs. Brill, the cook/housekeeper, bustles after Katie Nana. The houseboy, Robertson I, follows them. Mrs. Brill, and who gets stuck with the children with no nanny in the house? Me, that's who. I said my say, Mrs. Brill, and that's all I'll say. I've done with this house forever. Well, good riddance then, and mind you don't stumble on your way out. Katie Nana stumbles. Michael and Jane have run into the house. Winifred Banks has appeared in time to witness Katie Nana storming out. Winifred, Katie Nana? Where are you going, Katie Nana? Mrs. Brill, Katie Nana's gone, and is it any wonder? Driven off demented by your children's pranks. Do you really think I made another blunder? What another am I to say to Mr. Banks? George, dear, I'm feeling so bereft, dear. Another nanny's left, dear. Every nanny goes, we're unlucky, I suppose. We are never going to find the perfect nanny. Nonsense! My entrance. Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of the household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Coat! George holds his arm out, and Winifred helps him into it as he continues to berate her. Berate her? Oof. Careful, George, don't be a dick. The simple truth is, you've engaged 6 nannies in the last 4 months, and they've all been unqualified disasters. A nanny should govern, a nanny should rule. A nanny is a paragon who suffers no fool. A nanny's a stalwart our children would gain by having such a nanny in Cherry Tree Lane. Of course, George, but so take control of situations. Show your authority when interviewing staff. You know your role. They know their stations. Efficiency and forethought cut the jobs in half. Briefcase! Robertson I dutifully delivers the briefcase. See, I auditioned with this song. They were kind enough to provide tracks and music, so I know this one. Just this section, though. Briefcase! Yeah, so then Winifred says, I thought Katie Nana would be firm with the children. She always looks so cross. Winifred, never confuse efficiency with a liver complaint. Umbrella? If only we could find someone like your old nanny. I'm afraid that's not realistic, my dear. Few women alive could manage Miss Andrews' standards of efficiency. Besides, we could never afford someone of her caliber. Mrs. Brill and Robertson I sing along. Precision and order, he wants nothing less. It's like an army barracks. Yes. And Mrs. Brill. Yes, and we're in the mess. I forgot what she said like that. And we're in the mess. No wonder the nannies are driven insane. We're living in a madhouse in Cherry Tree Lane. Now, Winifred, if you do want to please me, you know I do, George. Very well. Then, place an advertisement in the Times stating that Jane and Michael Banks require the best possible nanny at the lowest possible wage. Jane and Michael had been listening from the staircase. Michael, we'd better give them ours before they make another mistake. Michael and Jane descend the stairs as George continues. I would stress that, Father... Jane interrupts him. Winifred, what's that you're holding, dear? We've written our own advertisements. George, what on earth? He's going to say probably what on earth, but it just says, what on... And he's interrupted by Winifred. Please, George, I think we should hear it. So that's interesting. She knows how he is, and she'll step in, and yeah, she cut him. She's not afraid. She's not afraid to step up to him. She's managing him as tightly as she can already, though. He's very, very stern in his ways. Where are we? So, we've written our own advertisement. What on? Please, George, I think we should hear it. Now, Winifred, none of your theatrics. Dick. No, you have to be You have to speak nicely to your character. He truly believes he's doing the best thing for his family. The best people, because he wants to be the best people. That's what he wants. He just wants to be the best people, because that's what he was taught was the only important thing in life, was to be the best people. He was raised in luxury, but an emotional cripple. So, precision and order is all he knows. It won't hurt to listen. Wanted a nanny for 2 adorable children. Adorable? Well, that's debatable, I must say. Oof. So, what does he think of these kids? Like, for real? No mollycoddling. That's what it is. He's not allowed to mollycoddle. Because that's weakness. Weakness is bad. Stiff upper lip is the only thing that's important. And children are notorious mollycoddlers. If you don't fucking toe the line, you literally don't even get, you don't even get love. You just get the absence of pain. And that's the closest you know to love, when you can potentially self-soothe. What is that like? What is that like? No extreme emotions allowed whatsoever. Just lock them down and toe the fucking line. So you can be the best people. So what do they say in the rehearsal notes? What was there? Right, okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, there we go. Okay. Can you see this picture? Oh, yeah, I can't see the photo. Ah, thank Christ for that. Okay. Okay, there it is. Prologue, scenes 1 and 2. Scenes 1 and 2. Oh, prologue. Scenes 1 and 2. Wait, what? Practically perfect. Okay, that's for 3. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So we're going to be doing up to Mary's arrival. What happens after that? Actually, this is a useful time to map out my appearances. Get another page over here. This is the fun part, right? Just get to highlight the script. You get those first visions and ideas of what's happening, what the characters might be doing. First start to imagine it. Well, it's tricky though, because you also have to keep an open mind. Because how you imagine it might not be the way the director has imagined it. And I'm not the director. So you need to make sure I keep an open mind. But sometimes you do get sentimental about ideas. Sometimes, sometimes you're right. Sometimes, yeah, but you don't want to be a troublemaker. It's George Banks. Oh, so freaking excited. All right, page 1. Page number. Page 1. Prologue. Then on page 4 is when I arrive for precision and order, or cherry tea lane. That's what it's called. So that's on page 4. Page 4. Cherry tree lane. Oh yes, it's a good song. Really sets the tone for my man George. Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Coat! So I want to make sure I'm clipping it. That's the kind of guy he is. At least these are my first impressions. So, I'm on page 4, page 5, page 6. Here we go. So, wanted a nanny for 2 adorable children. Adorable? Well, that's debatable, I must say. If you want this choice position, have a cheery disposition, rosy cheeks, no warts, that's the part I put in. Play games, all sorts. You must be kind and you must be witty, very sweet and fairly pretty. Well, of all the ridiculous... I bet you I forget that line. I wasn't paying attention. George, please, take us on outings, give us treats, sing songs, bring sweets, never be cross or cruel, never feed us castor oil or gruel. I don't envy the half singing that line. It's a tricky one. What? Love us as a son and daughter, and never smell of barley water. I put that bit in too, said Michael. If you won't scold and dominate us, we will never give you cause to hate us. We won't hide your spectacles so you can see. Put toads in your bed or pepper in your tea. Hurry, Nanny. Many thanks. Sincerely, Jane and Michael Banks. That's quite enough tummy rot for one day. George takes and tears up the advertisement and throws it in the fireplace. A gust of wind carries it up the chimney. He takes it and he tears it up. Jesus. In the book, sorry, not in the book, in the movie, Saving Mr. Banks, there's a gorgeous scene where Emma Thompson just loses it because she turns to them and says, "Why do you have to make him so cruel? Why is he so cruel? He didn't have any redeeming property. He was just the butt of the joke." And she couldn't abide that. Just goes to show Mr. Banks is her daddy. Right? Okay, this is just not working. What the fuck? That's quite enough Tommy Rot for one day. Rips it up, throws it in the fireplace. Will you please go upstairs and let me get to work? So this is going. These are the first few lines. This is really setting the tone for our man, George. This is when we get to see his temper. See how he's getting frustrated when he's separate. The children go, they were only trying to help. But it won't help anyone to make me late. The wind picks up outside. Where's my hat? Mrs. Brewer rushes to get an overcoat while Winifred searches for the bowler hat. George, dear, hat. I thought you put it down. Here, hat. I'm sure a bowler hat can't simply disappear. Do you think they'll find a nanny? Wait, no, what is this one? Do you think you'll find a nanny who doesn't run away? Yeah, I don't remember how the book goes. Ah, there it is. Robertson I presents George with his hat. George looks at it. He's brushed it with boot polish! All mimic George as he reiterates his mantra. Ah, this is me. Oh, they are following me on this one. Ah, I thought we were all singing along. No, this is me, and they are copying me. He's brushed it with boot polish. Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain. Whilst I remain the sovereign, mind you use the day well. You remain the sovereign. I shall be home at 6 o'clock sharp. He remains the sovereign. Of Cherry Tree Lane. Or something like that. What is my note there? Okay. We actually practiced this the other day.
Just so it doesn't catch you off guard, you do have only 2 forward bar there, so there's kind of a weird amount of counts before the George decision starts. Okay. Perfect. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, here it is. It's this one.
And then you're gonna have no chair, which is kind of the note everyone sings for that. No cherry tree. There you go.
Cherry Tree Lane. Cherry Tree Lane. Oh, Cherry Tree Lane.
Which is kind of the note everyone sings for that.
Oh, Cherry Tree Lane. Cherry Tree Lane. Oh, Cherry Tree Lane. It's an odd finish. Of Cherry Tree Lane. Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain. Whilst I remain the sovereign, mind you use the day well. You remain the sovereign. I shall be home at 6 o'clock sharp. He remains a sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Of Cherry Tree. Oh, let's see if I can remember. Of Cherry Tree Lane. Of Cherry Tree Lane.
Everyone sing for that. Of Cherry Tree. Here we go. Of
Cherry Tree Lane. Of Cherry Tree Lane. We hold that shit. It's supposed to be Cherry Tree Lane. I think.
We're gonna go way back.
Okay, let's go way back. Let's listen to those notes.
Yeah, it's right
Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of the household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Coach! The simple truth is, we've engaged 6 nannies in the last 4 months, and have all been unqualified disasters. A nanny should govern, a nanny should rule. A nanny is a paragon who suffers no fool. A nanny's the stalwart our children would gain by having such a nanny in Cherry Tree Lane. Of course, George, but so take control of situations. Show your authority when interviewing staff. You know your role. They know their stations. Efficiency and forethought cut the jobs in half. Briefcase. Winifred, never confuse efficiency with never complaints. Umbrella. Winifred, that's not realistic, my dear. Few women alive could manage Miss Andrews' standards of efficiency. Besides, we could never afford someone of her caliber. Precision and order equals Now, Winifred, if you do want to please me, very well. In place of advancement in the times, stating that Jane and Michael Banks require the very best possible nanny at the lowest possible wage. I would stress that.
Father, we've run our own advertisement.
What on earth?
Now, Winifred, none of your theatrics.
Wanted a nanny for 2 adorable children.
Adorable? Well,
That's debatable, I must say.
If you want this choice position, have a cheery disposition.
Can't tell you how amazing this drink is.
No words.
Play.
Play games, all sorts. You must be kind, you must be witty. Very sweet and very pretty.
Don't need to distance. like a son and daughter. Yeah, there's one of godly water.
You won't scold and dominate us even. Thanks sincerely,
Jane and Michael Banks. That's quite enough tummy rot for one day. Please go upstairs and get to work. How to make me late. Where's my hat?
Okay, no, that was my bad. I'll give you just the same 2 bars as we had before. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I thought you put it down here. Doesn't run away.
Brushed it with brute polish.
Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household is a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all yours to blame.
Whilst I remain the sovereign, I do rule the day well.
But he remains the
I should be home at 6 o'clock sharp.
He remains the sovereign. A cherry tree.
Oh, I like that. I'm gonna make a copy of that one. No, oh, cancel. I'm going to duplicate it. All right, then I'm going to edit that.
That it's efficiency. Besides, we never put someone out.
We ran the whole thing. What the hell am I doing here? That was cool. Cancel. Cherry 1 and 2 is what's going on here. So that's when we learned all the hat business.
1, 3, 4. George, dear.
Hat!
I thought you put it down here.
I'm sure it will simply disappear. You think the line of Danny doesn't run away.
Time going faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. George, dear.
Hat!
I thought you put it down here.
Hat!
I'm sure a boiler's hat can simply disappear. You don't think the line of Danny doesn't run away.
Boot polish!
We're getting close. 1, 2, 3, 4. George, dear.
Hat!
I thought you put it down here. I'm sure a boiler hat can simply disappear. You don't think the line of Danny doesn't run away.
Great. I'm gonna do one time a bit faster, then I'm gonna try playing underneath, and it's gonna screw it. Great.
That's fun.
So,
Doesn't run away.
George, dear.
Hat!
I thought you put it down here.
I'm sure a boiler hat can simply disappear. You don't think the line of Danny doesn't run away.
He's brushed it with boot polish!
Great. Okay, one more time without piano. Hold on, is there any harmonies in the beginning of my name? Does it relate to all? No, you said from Georgie one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
George, dear.
Hat!
Hat, I thought you put it down here. I'm sure a boiler hat can sit with you.
Do you think I'll find a nanny home? Does it run away?
Hey, I'm gonna play the piano under you this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's gonna be your
I was assuming you're sitting here, sure.
I should have done it. I did. I'll count you in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, George. Okay, so we're right here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hat!
I thought you put it down here.
Do you think I'll find a nanny home? Does it run away?
He's busted with boot polish! And order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain. Whilst I remain the sovereign, mind you use the day well. I shall be home at 6 o'clock sharp.
He remains the servant
Of Cherry Tree Lane. Of Cherry Tree Lane.
Great question. So this would probably be easier when there's music. And then you're gonna have
Cherry Tree Lane.
Cherry Tree Lane.
Oh, Cherry Tree Lane. Oh, Cherry Tree Lane.
Grabbing your hat comes right after Winifred. Again, I feel that. Where do you want the music yet? So I apologize. First, this cat. So we have, just so you can hear it once, precision, order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household.
Running on a household. Running on a household.
Is imagine the way that a cat jumps onto things. They gauge it first, and then they know the jump, and then they always exactly just do that jump. So think about that sort of. Already be thinking about where you're going to jump to by the time you say running. So you go running and you can just leap right to it rather than going,
I think I know what you're saying there.
Get my way up to there.
Running
Let's sing slowly for precision and order, and then we're going to try and sing just the melody always after we just do this first thing. So first, this first slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4.
precision
and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain. Whilst I remain the sovereign.
Now we're going to do it a little bit faster up until the end. And again, just kind of sing the melody right now. After we and you can just leap right to lots of things. They gauge it first, and then they know the jump, and then they always exactly just do that jump. So think about that sort of. Already be thinking about where you're going to jump to by the time you say running. So you go running and you can just leap right to it rather than going, I got to get my way up to there. No scooping. Let's sing slowly for precision and order, and then we're going to kind of try and sing just the melody all the way to the end after we just do this first thing. So first, this first thing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain. Whilst I remain the sovereign.
Great. Now we're going to do it a little bit faster up until the end. And again, just kind of sing the melody right now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain. Whilst I remain the sovereign, I do use the day well. I shall be home at 6 o'clock sharp.
He remains the sovereign
Of Cherry Tree Lane. Is that right? Of Cherry Tree Lane.
Sorry, I never like really
Ooh,
played
just
that
got no
piano.
reference for me.
So it's fine. Great. Let's do this whole section one more time. Yeah, for precision and order. 1, 2.
precision
And order, that's all that I ask.
The running of
Weird little sort of key change. Then back to the regular. Great. Let's do this whole section one more time. Yeah, for precision and order. 1. Yeah, for precision and order. 1, 2.
precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain.
Whilst I remain the sovereign, I do use the day well.
He remains the sovereign.
I shall be home at 6 o'clock sharp.
He remains the sovereign
Of Cherry Tree Lane.
Great. Okay, let's one time for review's sake kind of go through that thing again and then see what's next.
From George here.
Yes, from George Deal would be lovely. The half deer George hat, deer hat,
Dear back.
bowler hat.
Dear bowler hat. I just use it.
Yeah, for precision and order. What's the song after this? Good spot.
Are you perfect?
Sorry, I never like really played that for you, but so it's fine.
I picked a note with it.
Kelly, you're singing 28 exactly right. So
Okay.
go ahead. Weird little sort of key change. And then back to the regular. Weird little sort of key change. right there. Great. Let's do this whole section one more time. And then back to right there. Great. Let's do this whole section one more time. Yeah. The first. And you'll see this with the music, but just so it doesn't catch you off guard, you do have only 2 forward bar there, so there's kind of a weird amount of counts before the George decision starts. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Vision and order.
Silent.
Vision and order. Got it.
Let's do Every Nanny Goes just until the starting of precision, so we get that transition as well. Every nanny. 1, 2. Every nanny goes with his lucky eyes and nose. We are never going to find a perfect nanny.
Nonsense! Precision and order. That's all that I ask.
Okay, how did the family do? Yeah. So we're gonna go way back. Okay, one more.
Yeah, it's right there.
4.
Nonsense! Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of the household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Coach! 6 nannies in the last 4 months, and they've all been qualified disasters. A nanny should govern, a nanny should rule. A nanny is a paragon who suffers no fool. A nanny's a stalwart our children would gain by having such a nanny in Cherry Tree Lane. So take control of situations. Show your authority when interviewing staff. You know your role, they know their stations. Efficiency and forethought cut the jobs in half. Briefcase. Winifred never confuses efficiency with a liver complaint. Umbrella? I'm afraid that's not realistic, my dear. Few women alive could manage Miss Andrews' standards of efficiency. Besides, we could never afford someone of her caliber. What within thinks I we're living in the house. Now, Winifred, if you do want to please me, very well, then place an advertisement in the Times stating that Jane and Michael Banks require the best possible nanny at the lowest possible wage. I would stress that.
Father,
What's that you're holding, dear?
we've run our own advertisement.
What on earth? Theatrics.
Wanted a nanny for two adorable children.
Adorable? Well, that's debatable, I must say.
If you want this choice position, Jerry disposes of rosy cheeks, no parts. Play games, all sorts. You must be kind, you must be witty, very sweet and very pretty.
With all the ridiculous.
Take us on outings, give us treats. Love us as a son and daughter. If you won't scold and dominate us, we will never give you cause to hate us. We want larger spectacles so you can't see. Many thanks, sincerely, Jane Banks.
Whiten up, Tommy Rock for Monday. Will you please go upstairs and let me do some work?
Oh, that was me. That's my line.
It won't help anyone to make me late. Where's my hat?
Where's my hat? So that's the start of the song. Ooh.
No, that was my bad. Just gonna say 2 bars as we had before.
Hat! Doesn't run away. He's brushed it with boot polish. And order, that's all that I ask. The running of the household, a straightforward task. His children, the servants, are all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign.
I think of the day well. I shall be home at 6 o'clock sharp.
He remains the sovereign
Of Cherry Tree Lane.
Yeah. So let's go from.
That's exactly what we just listened to. Of Cherry Tree Lane, Cherry Tree Lane, of Cherry Tree Lane. We'll just do that a few times.
Let's have a look.
Is that it? Page 4 is Cherry Tree Lane. Page 5, Cherry Tree Lane continued. Page 6 becomes perfect nanny. And page 7. And bottom of page 7 is Cherry Tree Lane Part 2. Scene 2, Mary's arrival. Oh, Mary's arrival. Oh, now we're talking. Mary Poppins appears among them. She's wearing a hat with cherries in the brim and carrying an umbrella with a handle shaped like a parrot's head. Good morning. Approaching Mary Poppins. Yes. George, oh, I was pleased with that. I've come in answer to the advertisement. What advertisement? We haven't placed any advertisements. Not yet. Oh, shit. That one's not working because we left open. This one's about to not work because I've left it open using the old one. That's not working. How's the irony of that situation? George and Winifred Banks live here, do they not? Mr. and Mrs. Banks live here, yes. Mr. and Mrs. Banks live here, yes. Whew. You come in here and use our first names? Are you shitting me right now? Are you shitting my dick right now? That's Mr. and Mrs. Banks live here, yes. Having watched Saving Mr. Banks. Ooh. What's her face? Mrs. This is Paul Giamatti would affectionately say it over and over. P.L. Travers, Mrs. Travers. They kept trying to use her first name. She kept saying Mrs. Travers. That's what that line there is. Mr. and Mrs. Banks live here, yes. That's Mr. and Mrs. Banks to you. Oof. That's a solid catch on the first read, not gonna lie. Yes, okay. And you are looking for a nanny? Well, I suppose. And that trails off, so I'll have to find some gas. I'm going to fill in there. Very well then. Now, let's see. From her pocket, Mary Poppins takes a torn but now mended piece of paper. Play games, all sorts, which I most certainly can. Take us on outings, give us treats. George casts an uneasy look towards the children. This sounds very like, but it can't be. He stares at Mary Poppins blankly. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Jane and Michael listen from the staircase. Michael, it's our advertisement. Mary Poppins continues. Rosy cheeks and fairly pretty to George. There's no objection on that score, I hope. None at all. Blushing. I'm not quite sure how to do a posh blush. Hopefully that was something what they had in mind. I'm glad to hear it. Mary Poppins stares at him so firmly that for a moment it is like a ray of light passing right through him. Oof. You know what? I have to share that with Mary right now because that's something for us to chew on. I just said to Mary Poppins, bring it. Mary Poppins stares at him so firmly that for a moment it's like a ray of light passing right through him. That's going to be fun to react to. But, so now, remembering, the audience doesn't know this yet. And I want to be careful not to broadcast this too much. I don't think I can. As long as I don't overact it. For me, what's happened here is that is a stern look from a nanny authority figure. And that goes through me like a fucking laser beam, like a ray of light passing right through him. And he is instantly powerless. And his response here is, but take it up with Mrs. Banks. She manages all that side of things. Nothing domestic has anything to do with me, and don't forget the references. That's clearly a second line, right? Second, yeah. Divider between these two. Trauma. I'm just going to write trauma here, right in the script. This is why Mrs. Banks has to hire all the staff, because he can't handle it. But take it up with Mrs. Banks. She manages all that side of things. Nothing domestic has anything to do with me. And don't forget the references. George is gone, leaving Winifred and the newcomer staring at each other. After a moment, Mary Poppins speaks. George is gone. All right. So I leave on page 11. Okay, so that's what's happening at rehearsal tomorrow. Confirm Mary Poppins and Jane and Michael. Oh, sorry, Jane. Oh, first Mary Poppins and Winifred have. Oh, that's a really fun scene. It's a really nice scene. Mary Poppins says, I make it a rule never to give references. But Winifred, but I thought that was usual. A very old-fashioned idea to my mind. The best people never require them now. I see. You will have every third Thursday evening off from 5 until 9. The best people give every second Wednesday off from 6 till late, ma'am, and that is what I shall take. Oh, I see. Well, it's all settled then. As long as I'm satisfied. I'll see the children now, thank you. Of course. She turns her back nervously. You'll find they're very nice children. Jane and Michael come screaming down the stairs and stand in front of Mary Poppins. Now this is... Winifred is surprised to find that she has employed someone without knowing her name. Mary Poppins says, Mary Poppins. For a moment, Mary Poppins looks at the children as if she were reading their souls. They stare back. Jane, don't stare and close your mouth. Michael, we are not codfish. But Michael is not so easily conquered. As he continues to looking at Mary Poppins, she gives a sharp nod and starts up the stairs. Best foot forward, split spot. As if she were reading their souls. That's funny. As if she was reading their souls. So, Mrs. Brill, we have a new nanny. She passed the interview then. Well, I did. Scene 3, practically perfect. Nursery. I'm not in scene 3. The nursery is an airy room, light and full of optimism. The children rush in to find that Mary Poppins is already there. Very tidy, I must say. Tidier than I was expecting. Who was responsible for that? Mrs. starts Jane. Michael says, me, I am. I like to keep things neat. Do you indeed? Well, I look forward to making use of that. If there's one thing I appreciate, it's a child whose word I can depend on. Scoops up a boy doll. Who's he when he's at home? Jane says, that's Valentine. He's mine. From the look on his face, I'm not sure he'd agree with you. He's just a doll, and if I don't want to play with him now, Jane throws the doll into a box. Mary Poppins, treat him like that, and he might not want to play with you. Now, first things first, I always say the proper place to hang a hat is on a hat stand. And so Mary Poppins reaches in her bag and takes out a hat stand. Jane and Michael look inside as they move the bag. There's nothing in it. We'd better keep an eye on this one. She's tricky. Mary Poppins, how could you know that we wanted a nanny when we made our list? Your list, says Mary Poppins. I am not an item in the weekly shop, thank you very much. Magic music 2. Mary Poppins takes another item, perhaps a plant, out of her bag and places it strategically in the nursery. Jane, how did it come then? It was as if the wind just blew you here. Mary Poppins says, it did. Now, stand over there. Mary Poppins pulls a measuring tape from the bag and holds it against Michael and reads the measure. Just as I thought, a noisy, mischievous, troublesome little boy. You're making that up, says Michael. Without a word, Mary Poppins holds the tape up for Michael to read. A noisy, mischievous trouble. Stunned, Michael looks at Jane. Mary Poppins, now you, holds the tape against Jane and reads. Thoughtless, short-tempered, and untidy. Jane, I don't believe you. Let me see. And then she starts singing. By the time the wind has blown the weather vane around. Is this the practically perfect song? I'll show if I can, no matter what the circumstance. I don't know the song by part. Not temperamental, practically perfect. All right, and after practically perfect, they go for a jolly holiday in the park, where Bert is singing Chim Chimney. Oh, I does what I likes. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. I does what I likes, and I likes what I do. Today I'm a scraver, and as you can see, a scraver's an artist of highest degree. It's all me own work, from me own memory. A furious park keeper hurries towards Bert. Park keeper, oh, lummy, not these again. Come on, Mr. Parkkeeper, it's just me pictures, like it always is. There's no harm in them. I'll be the judge of that. This is my park, and I say you're interfering with a public railing. I want them removed. The parkkeeper trails off as he becomes aware of Mary Poppins, who is with the children. She looks firmly at him. Bert continues to draw without lifting his eyes. Just you watch it. That's all. Just you watch it. The parkkeeper walks off muttering. Bert speaks, still without raising his eyes. Stay right there. Stay right where you are. I know that silhouette anywhere. Mary Poppins. It's nice to see you, Bert. Bert turns his eyes from his drawings and looks up. Well, I must say, you do look swell. Mary Poppins snorts, but as she pats her hair, it is clear she agrees. How does he know you? Says Michael. He can't know you. You've only just arrived. I wasn't born 1 minute before I walked into your house, Michael Banks. Have you met these two, Bert? I've seen them chasing around a kite. It isn't a real kite. So what are you up to? Mary Poppins says it's a game. It's called A Walk in the Park. Some game, says Michael. I'd rather eat spinach, as he kicks the pavement. Come on, Bert. You're due for a break, and you promised you'd take me out when we meet again. Or have you forgotten? course I ain't, Mary, but picks up his cap. There's only one coin in it. Oh dear, is that all you've got? Never mind, my treat. And no one's charging for the trees and the sky, are they? Mary Poppins, is he really coming with us? Why shouldn't you? Well, to start with, he's very dirty, isn't he? Father would never approve. What's that? Says Bert. Michael berates Bert. Probably learned this from his dad. You can't come with us. You're too dirty, and we don't want to go to the stinky park anyway. Bert gives it right back to Michael. Oh, yes, you do. Because when you walk with Mary Poppins, you go to places you never dreamed of. And if she says it's a game, she's got something in mind. You can be certain of that. Bert and the children stand by his line of paintings. That's a picture of the park, isn't it? Says Jane. Michael. That's not the park. Not our park, anyway. Look, that tree's a much brighter green than the sky. It's quite a different blue. I think you'll find it's just the way I've drawn it, says Bert. Jolly holiday. All that it takes is a spark, then something plain as a park becomes a wonderland. All you have to do is look anew, then you'll understand why it's a jolly holiday with Mary. Mary makes your heart so light. Oh, really? When the day is grey and ordinary, Mary makes the sun shine bright. You don't talk nonsense, Bert. Oh, happiness is blooming all around her. The daffodils are smiling at the dove. I haven't the faintest idea what when Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band. Park strollers. Shh. You've had enough brass for all of us. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. No wonder that it's Mary that we love. Come on, you two. Bert and Mary Poppins exit. Jane and Michael lag behind until they are alone near a statue of a boy with a dolphin on a plinth. I don't know how to sing this one. Boring, just like other nannies think keep ups are good for us. It's just statues, ducks and grannies. I don't understand all the fuss. Is she doing it despite us? Lose her here for a lark. Perhaps it's all a plot. It seems to tell you what. She seems so different, but I bet she's not. Nothing to excite us in the park. A creaking sound. What's the creaking sound? Oh, okay. Jane, what was that? Nelius. You're quite wrong, you know. Jane and Michael look up. The statue of the boy Nelius is apparently smiling at them. They are terrified. What are you? I'm Nelius. I'm sure you know that. You've sat beneath me often enough. I've waited half a century to take a walk on a sunny day like this. Mary Poppins appears with Bert, both of them sporting bright summer clothes. As Bert sings, the park is transformed. The grass and trees become the richest green imaginable. The sky, the richest blue. The sun, the brightest yellow. A series of bizarre events take place. Mary Poppins weaves among the park strollers, and the children make the discovery that things are not as they seem. All watch the transformations from dull and grey to bright and colourful. Bert. Ain't it a glorious day, right as a morning in May? I feel I could fly. I don't know this song. I don't know it. It's Jolly Holiday. All right, moving right along. Blood is your blood. Oh. It's a jolly holiday with you, Bert. Gentlemen like you are few. Though you're just a diamond in the rough, Bert. Underneath your blood is blue. Your blood is blue. You'd never think of pressing your advantage. Forbearance is the fallback of your creed. And needn't fear when you are near. Your sweet gentility is crystal clear. It's crystal clear. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with you, birds. A jolly, jolly holiday with you. When Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. I wonder if it's Mary that we love. I wonder if it's Mary that we love. Did that really happen? Says Michael. Jane, yes, but how? Mary Poppins, of course. The children gasp. Then it wasn't a dream. How do you know Mary Poppins? She's an old friend of my father, says Nelius. Your father? You're a statue. You can't have a father. Well, if that's true, why do I miss him so much? Isn't he one of the other statues? Says Jane. No, he lives far from here. Do you really miss him? Wouldn't you miss your father if you hardly ever saw him? Says Nelius. Michael. I'll have to think about that. Oh, savage, Michael. Oof. You tell him, little upstart, little ragscallion. That's it, that's what it was, says the park keeper. Bird says, what? The plinth, it's half empty. The statue's gone. Do you mean you've lost your marbles? Says Mary Poppins. That's a lash. And Nelius vaults into place. This is your fault, ain't it? I knew we should have trouble when you first arrived. Now we've got a statue missing. Turns around and sees Nelius on the plinth and starts back with a groan. What? Oh, lummy! Jane, will you play with us again? She says to Nelius. Of course I will. I'm not going anywhere. Jane, then we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. A small thunderclap. Then Jane and Michael. Goodbye, Nelius. Goodbye. You know what? I feel like that's probably sufficient for right here, right now, in terms of advancing in the script. No, I want to find out when I go on next, which is this very next page. There we go. Which is scene 5. Wow, that's nice. I'm off stage for 17 pages. Yeah, okay. Well, we do have Practically Perfect, as well as, yeah, okay, Practically Perfect. Then they have this, that, yeah, okay. So when I come back, it's page 28. And it's called Let's Hope She'll Stay. Okay. All right, fine. We'll keep going just a little bit more. Scene 5. George is working at his desk. The children and Mary take off their outdoor clothes. It's in the parlor, apparently. Winifred pokes her head into the office. Jane and Michael want to say goodnight. Tell them you've given me the message, is my response. Ooh, cold. George, please. George reluctantly comes out into the hall. Oh, Daddy, we've had a fantastic day. We sang with a busker, danced with a statue, and met Queen Victoria. You wouldn't have approved, but, well, if you know that, well, then why did you do it? That's what George says. Daddy, could I have a kite, a proper one, says Michael. Could you fly it? You could always teach me. When would I have time to do that? Yeah, this kid just doesn't get it. He accepts this with a sad nod. He's used to it. Well, yeah, I don't have time. I don't have time for utter nonsense. I see you every single night. Do you have any idea that it's like 700% more than what my parents saw me? Daddy, who was the father of Neleus? Said Jane. Would you please let me get on? Good night. So I must have I don't even acknowledge the question. As the children would go out, George returns to her study and takes up his pen with a sigh. These children are so unruly. I wonder if it's just because I wonder if I'm conflicted by this. I wonder if it's because I'm yearning. These kids, they're just torturing me with their adorableness, maybe. But I can't let myself be weak. Or do I honestly find them that annoying? No, I must think they have some redeeming qualities. Anyway, so Winifred comes back in. Poor Michael. All he cares about is flying kites. And his beloved astronomy, of course. I used to love astronomy at his age. My nanny, Miss Andrews, soon beat it out of me. I suppose we do need a nanny, George. Is it out of the question to do without one? Don't be absurd. Of course we need a nanny. All the best people have nannies, so the wives can do charity work and entertain. Which reminds me, how is your tea party coming on? I'm not sure. It seems so odd to send out invitations to people I hardly know, but the people you should know. Remember, by your friends shall ye be judged. But that's the point. They're not my friends. Actually, I heard today from Clemmy Bunting. She's rehearsing a new play at the moment, and I thought I might ask her, how many times must I tell you? I wish you to sever all connection of that part of your life. George, I was an actress. Lots of people might find that interesting, though you always talk as if I should be ashamed of it. Well, it's not exactly something we're to be proud of. But it's not exactly something to be proud of. I rushed that line. How many times must I tell you? I wish you to sever all connection with that part of your life. I think I could slow this guy down a bit. Powerful people tend to speak slower. But I think I can walk the line here, because it is a musical and the pacing is important still. It is a musical. I would probably speak musical intonation. I can get away with it here. Tell them you've given me the message. Tell them you've given me the message. Tell them you've given me the message. If you know that, then why did you do it? Daddy, could I have a kite, a proper one? Could you fly it? Could you fly? Now, what am I saying there? Could you fly it? Yes, am I being cruel? I'm not being cruel. Just wake up to yourself. Stop messing around with ridiculous things. I don't have time to entertain your ridiculous notions. Okay? We do not have a time for tomfoolery. I won't entertain it. I can't even look it in the eye. So I will dismiss it out of hand. Dismissing it out of hand. Could you fly it? When would I have time to do that? I cannot even comprehend possibly finding time to do something like this. It is just not in my vocabulary. Daddy, who is the father of Nelius? Would you please let me get on? Good night. Good night. Good night. Would you please let me get on? Okay, so he's not necessarily angry. He just dismisses it. He doesn't hear it. Daddy, who is the father of Nelius? Would you please let me get on? I think I would be polite, somewhat polite, but I'm not engaging with who is the father of Nelius. Who is the father of Nelius? Would you please let me get on? Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Would you please let me get on? Would you please let me get on? Good night. Off you go. I need to get back to my work now, because I am a human being. If I don't work, I will literally die. I have to work. This is the only thing which makes sense in my life, is I need to work. If I'm not feeling pain, if I'm not grinding, and I'm not working hard enough, and I'm not going to be loved. Would you working hard enough, and I'm not going to be loved? Would you please let me get on? Good night. Poor Michael, all he cares about is flying kites and his beloved astronomy, of course. I used to love astronomy at his age. My nanny, Miss Andrews, soon beat it out of me. I suppose we do need a nanny, George. Is it out of the question to do without one? Don't be absurd. Of course we need a nanny. All the best people have nannies, so the wives can do charity work and entertain. Which reminds me, how is your tea party coming along? I'm not sure. It doesn't seem so odd to send out invitations to people I hardly know. But they're people you should know. Remember, by your friends shall ye be judged. But they're people you should know. But they're people you should know. So what I'm doing here, she is from the wrong side of the tracks. I certainly, as far as the best families go, I'm behind the 8 ball here. So, but in looks and charm, and we're going to find this out in a moment, he believes that she belongs there every bit. He just wants people to see her the way he sees her. But she just needs to get in line. That's how you do this. That's how you succeed. So, but they're people you should know. Remember, by your friends shall ye be judged. By your friends shall ye be judged. But they're people you should know. Remember, by your friends shall ye be judged. But that's the point. They're not my friends. Actually, I heard today from Clemmy Bunting. She's rehearsing her new play at the moment, and I thought I must go. How many times must I tell you? I wish you to sever all connection with that part of your life. George, I was an actress. Lots of people might find that interesting, though you always talk as though I should be ashamed of it. It's not exactly something to be proud of. Winifred, dearest, I'm only thinking of you. I want people to admire you, to respect you. I know, George, but sometimes it's hard. It's not hard. It's your job to be Mrs. Banks. And what is your job? To pay for everything. George turns his attention to the desk again. Winifred leans in, startling him. What is it? I was only going to kiss you. Oh, all right. He lifts his face for a rather unsatisfactory kiss. Sadly, Winifred starts for the door. Are you going to say something to Mary Poppins about this afternoon? I don't think so. Very well. But just make sure she's doing things our way and not hers. What good are rules if you can bend them? We need a nanny who is disciplined and stern. With boys and girls, you don't befriend them. I fear that Mary Poppins has a lot to learn. George turns his back. Being Mrs. Banks. Oh, this is such a good song. Should be an easy road, and yet it's one which I don't seem too good at on the whole. I have a comfy home. I have a simple life. I have a name which tells the world I'm someone else's wife, someone else's wife. Being Mrs. Banks, what does that entail? Facing tests of character, I always seem to fail. And as for his best people, well, I'd like to say no thanks. Not exactly my idea, being Mrs. Banks. I think, paraphrasing the last paragraph there. Jane, I still feel as though I'm dreaming. So much fun having one day. When Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band. I'm sure Nelis is beaming. Let's hope she will stay. Good night, Nelis. Let's hope she will stay. Let's hope she will stay. Precision and order. That's an interesting little line right at the end there. The button. Let's hope she will stay. What good are rules if you can bend them? Okay, so that's through to 31. So 28. Let's hope she will stay. Okay, so I'm going to call that good night. And page 29 is Tea Party. Page 30 is Good Night. Good Night Kiss. And then it's on to What Good Are Rules? And 31, Button, which is Precision and Order. I wonder what it sounds like. Heartfelt, ruin the whole show, the whole live. That's the original. I don't know that. Original London cast. Ooh, there we go. Just maybe mentioned. Oh. It's not here. It's really weird. Let's hope she'll stay.
What good are rules if you can...
Oh, okay. Oh, this is the Cherry Tree reprise. Ah, okay. Button. Okay. Right, and then that's in spoonful of sugar. Robertson I. This is the cake. They make the icing. Then they do spoonful of sugar. This is brown. Precision and order. Oh, the bank. Scene 7 is the bank. I don't know when I actually come on here. I think I may be on at the start. It's so funny. It says precision and order, page 41. The bank. Chairman of the bank gives his daily briefing to his board, which includes George Banks. Mrs. Smythe, good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. Great men have dreams of power and position. It's our job to back them to the hilt. For shrewd investments and advice, they'll pay our price. The bedrock on which banks are built. Banks, a word. The board members go about their daily business. George lingers behind to listen to the chairman. I see Von Hassler. Herr Von Hassler is coming in again today. Have you made your decision? I believe so, sir. Page 42. Good. Be sure it's the right one. In every transaction, credit or debit. In his office, George, papers, and Van Hassler. Herr Banks, what objection can you have? My security is more than adequate, and Latin America is an expanding market. Is a Français? What? Now you are saying, what is the matter? Have you no courage? But Mr. Von Hassler, what I haven't been able to grasp is, what exactly is your final product? What do you think? Money, of course. Yes, money, but I wonder, making money out of money, is that enough? Skeptic! Heresy! Are you man enough to be our banker? A man has dreams of building an empire. A man has dreams of building an empire to make his name in many distant lands. And in the new world, I am told, will soon strike gold that sees the chance with both the hands. I don't know how this goes. Assessing the market, limit the risk. Near the room for error, business is brisk. George is now in discussion with a second client, John Northbrook, an honest northerner who presents his argument for a bank loan. Have you come to your decision, Mr. Banks? There's a town of good people whose future depends on you. I don't know what Scottish accent is, or where I'm going with that accent. It's north of London. I know that much. Some poor bastard hybrid. I know that. Oh, fuck me. I just highlighted the wrong line. Shit. Hate that. Damn it. I know that. Give us this chance. You won't regret it. The factory could be running in weeks and expanding before the year's out. Please, Mr. Banks, I'd give it everything I've got, believe me. I do believe you, Mr. Northbrook, and I'm trying to find a way, but there's just not the collateral. What about my workforce? Decent men who want a better life. They're my collateral. I do believe you, Mr. Northbrook, and I'm trying to find a way, but it's just, there just is not the collateral. My men have dreams to earn an honest living, a wife and kids, a home to call their own. If you'd invest in us today, it paves the way. I promise we'd repay the loan. I'm sorry, Mr. Northbrook, but the children burst in. Mary Poppins follows. George is startled. What the fuck? Hello, Daddy. What on earth are you doing here? Can't you see I'm busy? No, we're done. And no man should be too busy for his own children. To Michael. What are you here for, young man? Have you come for some money as well? Hardly. Hardly, says George. Hardly? What would they... Hardly? What would they need money for? Well, it's never too early to learn its value. Northbrook pulls 2 coins out and hands them to the children. Michael says, I know the value of this. 6pence. No, that's its worth. Its value is in how you spend it. Do good and may you have good luck. No, that's its worth. That's in how its value is in how you spend it. Do good and may you have good luck. Mary Poppins. And what do you say to Mr. Northbrook? Thank you. I'll wait outside. With a smile for the children, Northbrook exits. What is the meaning of this? Really, Mary Poppins? I am not without a sense of humour. Aren't you, Daddy? Says Michael. Ooh, sassy. Sassy little biatch. Aren't you, Daddy? No, I am not. But when I was a little boy, I would never have dared interrupt my father. No, I am not. But when I was a little boy, I would never have dared interrupt my father. Were you ever a little boy? Of course I was. But my nanny, Miss Andrew, kept me out of my father's way, and he'd have been very annoyed if she hadn't. Motherfucker. What about your mother? I shouldn't think I saw either of them more than once a week. Can you believe, like, the gravity of what you were saying here, man? What is the meaning of this? Really, Mary Poppins, I am not without a sense of humour. Aren't you, Daddy? No, I am not. But when I was a little boy, I would never have dared interrupt my father. Were you ever a little boy? Of course I was. But my nanny, Miss Andrew, kept me out of my father's way, and he'd have been very annoyed if she hadn't. This is what I need to do. I just fucking realized this is inner child work. Little baby George was beautiful. He was such a ray of sunshine. He was a friendly, big-smiled little boy. Was rambunctious and loved to play and had an imagination of what lived amongst the stars. But he had the shit fucking beaten out of him. But he's still in there. He's still in there. So I'm nice underneath. I'm always nice. So even though I'm stern, it's a facade. Adventurous. Hell, I married an actor, for goodness sakes. Joyful. I need to find his joy. No, I am not. What is the meaning of this? Really, Mary Poppins, I'm not without a sense of humour. Aren't you, Daddy? No, I am not. But when I was a little boy, I would never have dared interrupt my father. Were you ever a little boy? Of course I was. But my nanny, Miss Andrew, kept me out of my father's way, and he'd have been very annoyed if she hadn't. What about your mother? I shouldn't think I saw either of them more than once a week. Didn't they mind? Mind? They were glad to be rid of me. Then who kissed you good night? Miss Andrew? This horrible image almost overpowering him. Certainly not! There was no time for hugs and kisses and all that soppy nonsense. There was no time for hugs and kisses and all that soppy nonsense. Notice the children are aghast. What's the matter? Poor Daddy. Poor? What do you mean, poor? That's what made me the man I am, eh, Mary Poppins? Yes, I'm afraid it did. This is it. This is the page. That's the one. That's the oofs. Oh. Poor? What do you mean, poor? That's what made me the man I am. Eh, Mary Poppins? Yes, I'm afraid it did. George is not sure he can have heard this correctly. That's enough. You've seen where I work, and I have a great deal to do. This is it. This is the page. This is the drama. Daddy, when you invest the bank's money, what are you looking for? A good man or a good idea? I suppose I should say it's a good idea. But a good man is much rarer and much more valuable. Jane. Oof, that is gold right there, my child. Just saved your father's soul right there. Come along, children. Mr. Von Hustler, I've considered your arguments, but I'm afraid my answer is no. So you don't recognize a good deal? Perhaps not, but I recognize a good man when I see one. You will regret this, Herr Banks. Von Hustler leaves in a huff. George watches him go, thinking aloud. A man with dreams that life hasn't broken. A man with hopes, ambitions to fulfill. A man you're certain at first chance, at first glance, deserves a chance. Now, Mr. Northbrook, when exactly could the factory open? Thank you, sir. You won't regret it. That was Jean Valjean's 1600 for your sacrifice. Continued bank. I got Hustler on page 42. On page 43, got Bank. Northbrook. Page 44. Bank. And Kids. 45. Bank. And Everything. This is the Trauma Exposition. Trauma Expo. And page 46. Man Has Dreams. Oh, Feed the Birds. The austere, columned, fair facade of St. Paul's Cathedral. On the steps, the old bird woman prophesied to the children and Mary Poppins. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. There's that horrible old woman, says Michael. Don't point. And for your information, she is not in the least horrible, says Mary. Jane, but she's just a bundle of rags, says Jane. Mary Poppins, when will you learn to look past what you see? Oh, I wish I knew how this. Early each day to the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bird woman comes, in her own special way to the people she calls. Come, buy my bag full of crumbs. Come feed the little birds, show them you care, and you'll be glad if you do. The young ones are hungry, their nests are so bare. All it takes is tuppence from you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Feed the birds, that's what she cries. Overhead, her birds fill the skies. I don't know how that goes. Michael reaches into his pocket and moves towards the bird woman. What a good kid. Jane, what are you doing? Michael, I'm going to give her my sixpence. Jane, what a waste. Mary Poppins, that's a matter of opinion. Mary gives the bird woman a coin. Here, one bag, please. She says to Michael, save your sixpence. Mary Poppins gives the bag to Michael, who throws the seed. All around the cathedral, the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can't see them, you know they are smiling each time someone shows that he cares. Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Michael shakes out the last of the seed. All gone. Michael tosses the bag on the ground, but catches Mary Poppins' stare and quickly picks it up. Scene 9, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'm not in this one. Talking shop. Bert enters with Willoughby, who barks at him. You don't say. Well, here she is now. You can tell her yourself. Mary Poppins and the children enter. Willoughby barks. Isn't that Miss Lark's dog, Willoughby? Don't interrupt when someone's barking. You were saying? Really? Well, if she keeps wandering off, perhaps it would be better if you kept her on her lead. Willoughby! Ah, look, here she comes now. Willoughby, it's all right, Mummy's here. Miss Lark hurries to Willoughby, who barks eagerly as she scoops him up. You know, sometimes you'd think he could talk. You'd almost think he could talk, Willoughby barks, smothering the dog with kisses. Miss Lark rushes off. But, says Jane, can Willoughby really talk? Of course he can. Getting him to stop is the problem. Michael, to Mary Poppins, how do you learn to talk, dog? How do you think? Master the grammar. But practice when you can, and avoid mongrels. Far too much slang. Now, come along. I can't stand here all day talking shop. Talking shop? What a silly expression. You know what? I think we might have to call it there for tonight. Thanks, everybody. Been a great audience. Stay tuned.